Hello everyone, welcome to Movie Talk. Today I'm going to make my predictions for the Oscars of 2024. I'm gonna make my predictions for the nominations today because the nominations are going to be announced in 24th of January or something like that, just in the end of this month. So I decided to make this prediction of the nominations, and then I'm going to make my prediction of the winners when the nominations are already announced. Because yeah, I'm not gonna make the winners today, because it's a bit weird if I don't get the nominations right. But I haven't watched all of the movies of 2023, and I'm not going to be talking about every category. I just simply don't care about the best short documentary. I just simply don't care. I'm going to be focusing on the main tiers, and if there is one that you would like me to say, you'd like me to talk about, just say it in the comments and I'll talk to you about it. But as I've said, I don't know, I haven't seen all of the movies of this year, and I definitely haven't seen like the short animated films, so I really cannot talk much about them. So yeah, probably I can talk about the main movies, like here nominations for Best Picture, Best Directors, and things like that I can easily talk about. But yeah, let's go. So first of all, one thing that I have to say is that there are five or six movies that I think there are going to be definitely in the nominations for Best Picture. They're Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, Poor Things, and Past Lives. I believe these five movies are going to be in the nominations definitely. Then I can see Maestro because Bradley Cooper is making the campaign of this movie really strongly for Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Actor, also Best Actress. And I think there is no way that he misses out in the Best Picture nomination. I think The Holdovers is also going in there, and then the last three spots are a bit more difficult because it's movies that I haven't watched yet. I would love to watch American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Zone of Interest, but I haven't seen them anywhere. None of these three movies have gone to cinemas near me, and there is no streaming service available to watch these movies. So it's harsh. It's harsh, but I believe that The Zone of Interest is a very strong contender, and I think it probably won't miss out in Best Picture. I also think that American Fiction is one of the options, but I want to talk about more movies, so we'll get into that later. And I don't think Anatomy of a Fall is going for Best Picture, just because it's not the movie chosen by France to represent the country, and it's this kind of stuff where people are not really supporting much the movie. Like the campaign of the movie is being a bit scuffed because of this thing. This movie will not even get nomination for Best International Film, so it's a bit hard and a bit harsh to judge this movie, but there's nothing we can do. I believe that May December is a very strong contender because everyone has been talking about it, and it's publicity for the movie. And one movie that people were talking a lot about it was Saltburn, but I don't think it gets into the nominations. And then The Iron Claw, again, amazing movie, but I don't think it will get to the point of the nomination. One movie that I would like to see get into the nominations is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, but it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. I think American Fiction gets that spot for best picture, and then I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I could say The Color Purple, but I haven't watched that movie and I haven't heard anyone talk about it, so I really have nothing to say. Literally, I have nothing to say about The Color Purple. So for the last spot, I'm just going to put in May December, just because it has already a very strong let's say campaign, and a lot of people are talking about it, so you never know. Then for the Oscar of Directors, I think this is is a pretty straightforward one. At least the first three, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Yorgos Lanthimos, these three guys are giving everything for their movies. And yeah, I just don't believe anyone getting in the way of these three directors. Their movies are just amazing, and I don't think there's anything that is going to take one of these directors out of the nominations. Saying that, the last two spots are amazingly difficult to pick for me because you see these five next people, one, two, three, four, five, exactly five. These are picks that I have no idea which one to pick. I can easily see Greta Gerwig not getting a nomination and being like this Oscars thing that where they also always get one thing wrong, and I can easily see Greta Gerwig being the one that it doesn't get nominated. I think that Alexander Payne is doing an amazing job for the holdovers, and even though I don't think Bradley Cooper is giving everything in Maestro, well, maybe he is giving everything, but it just is not at the level of the other guys. Um, I think that not seeing him in the Oscar is going to be pretty tough because the movie is just a movie that would go to the Oscars, Maestro, and he's making such a big campaign that I don't think I cannot see Bradley Cooper away from the Oscars. Then the last spot is very hard to pick. I don't think Celine Song gets the nomination. I don't think Past Lives is the kind of movie that goes for direction. It's a movie that definitely goes for acting and this writing, but any other than that, I don't see Celine Song going. And then it goes to Jonathan Glazer and Alexander Payne, and between those two, I haven't seen The Zone of Interest, so I don't have a personal opinion. But Alexander Payne is making a great directing in the movie. So, in terms of campaign, probably Jonathan Glazer gets it, but I don't know which one to pick from these two. So I think I just go with Jonathan Glazer, even though I haven't watched The Zone of Interest. Then Best Actress in a leading role. Sorry, it this year is very curious because we see Lily Gladstone and Carey Mulligan going for Best Actress in a leading role, even though they're not the main character, they're not the main protagonist of the story. So yeah, it's very weird. But yeah, it's the three faces that we're gonna see in the Oscar very easily. And then it's a bit hard to pick the next two ones. There's Sandra Hüller here, that I could easily pick, but this thing of Anatomy of a Fall, I don't know what's gonna happen ongoing because, as I said, maybe it's not even getting a nomination for Best Picture. It's very controversial to talk about. It's very hard to talk about it. So you never know. I think Margot Robbie gets the nomination. I think that Barbie is going to be a very influential movie, not just in the marketing, in the business, of course, being the best box office of 2023, but Margot Robbie is delivering really well in this movie, and I don't see the Oscar getting this one wrong. Maybe people are talking about Margot Robbie not deserving the Oscar. Maybe she doesn't deserve the Oscar, but the nomination I think she fully deserves. Then we got here a interesting pair. There is Fantasia Barrino and Annette Bening, two movies that I haven't saw. The Color Purple, I don't see anyone talking about it, but Niad, I've heard about it, and I haven't watched it, but I've seen good things. But May December, as I said, Natalie Portman. I've seen May December. I don't think it's anything special, but I believe that Natalie Portman is making a hell of a performance. But I don't see any campaign for her, so I don't think she gets into into the Oscars. The one that I haven't talked about is Greta Lee. That I believe she is. I believe she gets the nomination. Just because of the whole um strike from the actors and the writers. A24 were the only ones who could have started their campaigns. They could have used the strike to make some campaigns because they were the only ones to agree with all of the terms. And because of that, they used it to their favor. And I believe that Greta Lee is getting the nomination for Best Actress in a leading role. Sorry. Then talking about it, Best Actor in a supporting leading role, sorry. We got these four guys in, as you can see here, four guys: Cillian Murphy, Bradley Cooper, Paul Giamatti, and Leonardo DiCaprio. I am very scared that Cillian Murphy doesn't get the Oscar. I don't know how that could happen, but I'm very scared. One thing that I have to say is that Leonardo DiCaprio is in fourth here in the bet, which is kind of weird, to be honest, because Leonardo DiCaprio is definitely one of the main contenders for this Oscar, and I would say that he's even the favorite, but you never know. And then for the last pick, it has to be Jeffrey Wright, although I want to comment about Zac Efron delivering a hell of a performance, and Matt Damon also going really well in the performance. Of course, they don't have any campaign for themselves, even Michael Fassbender. No one's really caring about them much, so yeah. I wanted to talk about some of these guys making amazing performances, but just missing out because these top five guys are just on another level. Their movies are on another level as well. So yeah. Now going to Best Supporting Actress. This is an interesting category because I believe that Devin Joy Randolph gets easily the Oscar, gets easily the win, but then I am not really sure who gets in the nominations. I'm not. I could say that Danielle Brooks gets into the nominations because she's here in the odds in second place, but I haven't seen Color Purple. I haven't heard about Color Purple, so I really cannot talk much about her. The ones that I can talk about, like Emily Blunt, Julianne Moore, Jodie Foster, I haven't watched any yet, but I have heard about it. America Ferrera in Barbie, Penelope Cruz in Ferrari, Sandra Hüller, I don't know what she's doing here, but sure. Viola Davis in Air, she is in a really great campaign. People are really trying to put her into the Oscar, which is a bit weird. Well, it's not weird. I just think that Warner Brothers would like, Amazon would like to differentiate Color Purple and Color Purple. Yeah, sorry about that. And I think Emily Blunt gets into the nominations. Definitely Julianne Moore, almost sure. Jodie Foster, very likely. And then for the last spot, I'm going to Penelope Cruz because I don't think America Ferrera gets into the nomination. I don't think she is getting a campaign for it, and I just don't think that as a level of performance, I don't think she gets in there. And if you remember in my review of Oppenheimer, I said that Emily Blunt wouldn't get into the Oscar, but that is because I said that because I didn't know what was going to happen in the rest of the year. And yeah, she has to be in she has to be contender. And then Best Supporting Actor, I think this is a pretty straightforward category. These five guys that you see in the first, right here in the top of the site, this is the Gold Derby if you are wondering if you want to do your bets as well. Um, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Mark Ruffalo, Robert De Niro, and Charles Melton are the five guys that will get nominations definitely. The only one that I could see entering here as well would be Willem Dafoe, but people are preferring more Mark Ruffalo than Willem Dafoe. They're making the campaign all towards Mark Ruffalo, and yeah, if someone had to lose their seat to enter Willem Dafoe, I think would be Charles Melton. but I just don't see that happening. And for the one that I think is gonna win, it's a very hard category. I don't really have anything to say, but I can easily see Robert Downey Jr. gets the award, or Robert De Niro. Either one of them. I can easily see all of them getting, but I think the more likely guys to get it are Robert Downey Jr. and Robert De Niro. Then for best adapted screenplay, I think this is also a pretty straightforward one. Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. And then for the last one is kind of debatable because I thought that Barbie was going to get a nomination for best original screenplay, but apparently just because it's Barbie and Barbie has already existed for a long time, it's going to be an adapted screenplay. So I think I have to go with American Fiction, but I can easily see Barbie getting into the best adapted screenplay. It's definitely a really well done script, but to beat these guys, I think it's gonna be hard. And I'm not really sure if Killers of Flower Moon gets the actual win. It's here on my top choice because I just went it with the order that is here, but I don't know. This is a very hard one. These top three guys are really disputing, but if I had to choose one right now, I would say Oppenheimer. Then best original screenplay. This is also a very easy category. I think The Holdovers gets nomination. Best Lives, May December, Maestro. I'm in this kind of limbo with Anatomy of a Fall, as I've said before, but I don't know what can happen out of there. I don't think Air gets the nomination or any other screenplay as here from now. Yeah, I just don't believe it. Uh, I could say that maybe the Iron Claw gets a terrific surprise in the Oscar, but it's very unlikely. And I don't even know which film is it. Origin, never heard about it, so okay. Um, I don't think any other movie deserves more than Anatomy of a Fall, and maybe it's what the hell is Rebel Moon doing here? What the? But yeah, guys, you know it's very hard to pick one any other than Anatomy of a Fall, even though I'm in this kind of not knowing what to do with Anatomy of a Fall. Then best cinematography. This is easy for me to pick. Oppenheimer gets the win here easily. I think it's the best cinematography of the year, one of the best cinematographies of some time now. I don't see any other film right really disputing with Oppenheimer. It's gorgeous movie. It's amazing what it does there. Then here in the odds, the order here is Killers of the Flower Moon and Poor Things. But to be honest, I think Maestro is the second best cinematography of the year. I love what they do in Maestro. I don't remember the name of the cinematographer. I searched it out, but I already forgotten. So yeah, it happens. I can see The Killer getting an award for best cinematography as well, but yeah, it's probably going to be just a Zone of Interest. This is a straightforward category. Not a lot you can do. Then to best costume design, Barbie definitely gets the win here. Although Poor Things is also in a very good campaign, and as the things that I see people saying and the trailers and things like that, Poor Things it's a very good contender for costume design. I just think that all the work they did in the costume in Barbie, all of the stuff that they did, like using a lot of pink and all of the sets and things like that, it's all beautiful, and I loved it while watching Barbie. Like visually, it's a very good movie. They're getting the win definitely. Then it's a bit of a weird stuff seeing here the odds. Wonka Napoleon like up here ahead of Oppenheimer. That it's not a strong contender for this category, as I said in my video when I predicted it. But yeah, you know, Napoleon. Okay. Killers of Flower Moon is also getting the nomination, definitely. Color Purple is this thing that I've already said. I have not seen the movie, I have not heard anyone talk about it, so I'm just not gonna predict anything from the Color Purple because I don't know anything. Wonka, it's definitely getting costume design nomination. It's going to be one of the few nominations that Wonka gets, but maybe production design also. Nah, production design is a harder category. And then Napoleon, I don't think gets better than Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer gets the best of Napoleon. It's just not Napoleon is just not the movie that is being talked about it too much. Then for film editing, I just do not see anything else than Oppenheimer getting the win. Yeah, it's very hard for Oppenheimer not getting the win, even though with Kills of Flower Moon getting a really great film editing, and I talked about it in my video of Killers of Flower Moon. Of the best things of the movie is the editing. I also said that in Oppenheimer, of course, but yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon gets the nomination, and I don't see anything else getting the win other than Oppenheimer. The Holdovers, I think, also gets the nomination for film editing, and then it's kind of scuffed. Poor Things probably gets, but I'm not. I want to talk about other movies. I think The Killer is amazingly edited, but I don't see anyone talk about it. I thought that Past Lives was going to be up here in the odds, but apparently it's down here. But I don't really know. And then another movie that I see a lot of people talk about the editing is the Iron Claw, but again, apparently just down here. Well, um, I think that Poor Things gets the nomination easily, and then between Barbie and Maestro, I don't know what movie is going to get the best out of the Academy, but for me, it's definitely Barbie. As I said in my review of Maestro, I didn't like much the film editing. I just thought they could cut out the other stuff of the film, and yeah, it's one of the weakest parts of Maestro, in my opinion, is the film editing. Then makeup and hairstyle. Poor Things probably gets the win here. With all of the stuff that they do with Willem Dafoe, also Emma Stone. Probably Maestro is the next contender for it, but yeah, you don't know. Oppenheimer gets the nomination, definitely. Not getting the win, almost surely not, but you never know. Society of the Snow, it's a highly talked about movie that I think it's getting nominations for this category and maybe even score. Then Golda, it's the a movie that I haven't heard about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Killers of Flower Moon, that's going to be my prediction because I haven't heard about this one. Then production design. This is also a category that is pretty straightforward, at least for once. Barbie, Poor Things, Oppenheimer, Kills of Flower Moon. Production design, definitely sure. Um, Even though I don't think Barbie gets this one, I think Poor Things is the one to get the Oscar, the win in this category, production design. And then the color purple, again, I have no idea. Then for me is a very tough battle between Asteroid City and Wonka. I saw Asteroid City in the cinema. I didn't see Wonka in the theaters, but I saw Asteroid City and it's gorgeous, the production design. Wonka, meanwhile, it's not that great, but all of course for me it's in the battle. So I'm gonna say that Asteroid City gets the production design award, even though this film is definitely one that would go into these technical areas like production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyle, and cinematography. Since I don't think it's getting in on those categories, I believe that production design definitely is the one that Asteroid City strikes the most. Then for the score, it's very weird for me to see movies like Elemental and The Boy and the Heron right up here, but yeah, sure. For me, Oppenheimer, the best scores on a movie this year, the best scores of all time. For me, it's the second best sound score in a Christopher Nolan movie. The only one that I think would beat would be Interstellar, but yeah, Oppenheimer is definitely up there. And I don't see any way that Oppenheimer doesn't get the best score. Of course, I'm not a music professional. I'm not a professional in anything, and I certainly don't know anything about music. I can't read a music sheet, but just looks like Oppenheimer gets the best on soundtrack. Then Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest are two main contenders. And then there is this thing about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse that being an animation is always going to be hard for these movies to be nominated. But, score is not one of the strongest categories, so maybe they do get a nomination on score. And just for my taste, I love the score on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Then for best sound, there is nothing there is nothing else than Oppenheimer. There is the really strong killer on the sound category that I believe the killer is getting the nomination for sound. I love what they do. It is a bit weird the first time you hear those things that they do with the music, but as you get accustomed to it, it's very well done, and it's very nice to hear and to see what they did in that movie. Then the usual suspects, Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't think Maestro is a very strong contender here, but you know, it probably gets nomination. And then for the last one, I think it has to be The Zone of Interest. I haven't watched the movie, as I've said before. It's not a movie that I can talk much about it, but I see a lot of people say that the sound is perfect, one of the best sounds in a movie this year. And then I would unfortunately have to rule out Ferrari, which is a very nice sound as well, but these ones just get the better of it. Then for best visual effects, it's actually a very hard category to pick the winner. Like the nominations are very easy to pick, but to pick a winner in this category, it's very hard. Like I thought for the first time in when I watched The Creator that it was getting the nomination, the win very easily. But then Godzilla Minus One came out, and astonishing film visual effects. And Poor Things also gets the nomination for visual effects, although I don't see it getting the win. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Also, I watched that movie in the cinema, and the visuals are amazing. I can't say anything else. Then I'm not gonna pick Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because it's very weird to see an animation getting into the visual effects. The Oscar just doesn't go for animations on the visual effects category, so yeah, I'm going with Napoleon. And then for the last one, the last category that I'm talking about is the best animated feature. I think that this is an easy category to pick the winner, and the at least two nominations, that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy in the Heron. Elemental also gets the nomination, I'm pretty sure of it. Don't think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gets it. Probably Nimona is next up there. And then I'm actually going with Suzume. Despite all things, even Super Mario Bros. Movie is here, but for the Oscar, yeah, that's just nothing. That's not anything that I am expecting to see. And this was the video, guys. I'm going to end it up this real quick because it's a very long video what I've just done. So I'm going to be covering the nominations in the Oscars. I'm going to see if I got these ones right, and I'm going to see then for the winners, I'm going to make another video predicting the winners. So yeah, I'll see you guys in that video. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.